Hello everyone, welcome to Turkish Spotlight Secrets. Today I'm bringing you an in-depth look at a situation that has surprised many fans. The personal turmoil actor Barış Baktaş is currently facing because of his close relationship with co-star Yağmur Yüksel. Below is every detail you need to know, including context from their time on Can Kikaleri, the role jealousy has played, the ultimatum his wife presented, and the difficult choice Barış now faces between his career and his marriage. If you enjoy this kind of detailed coverage, I'd be delighted if you press the like button and subscribe to my channel. You can also support me further by clicking the join button for exclusive content. Thank you so much, and let's get into today's video. 1. From co-stars to close friends. Barış Baktaş first captured widespread attention when he was cast opposite Yağmur Yüksel as the romantic leads in the hit Turkish series Can Kikaleri. In this drama, Barış's character Baran and Yağmur's character Dilan navigated family rivalries, forbidden love, and emotional obstacles, captivating millions of viewers. What stood out on screen was the undeniable chemistry between the two actors. Their shared glances, heartfelt confessions, and broken-hearted cries felt so authentic that many fans believed their bond extended beyond the script. Behind the cameras, Barış and Yağmur spent long hours together, sometimes 12, even 14 hours a day filming intense scenes. Whether it was a tearful confrontation in a dimly lit corridor or a tender moment on a moonlit balcony. During breaks, they would compare notes on dialogue, discuss their characters' motivations, and even laugh about light-hearted anecdotes from earlier in the day. Crew members often commented on how comfortable they seemed in each other's presence, as if they had known one another for years rather than weeks. This mutual trust and respect formed the foundation of their friendship. Barış admired Yağmur's willingness to push emotional boundaries in her performances, and Yağmur respected Barış's commitment to bringing depth to every scene. The result was a dynamic that kept viewers glued to their screens, rooting for Baran and Dilan's union. 2. Jealousy strikes at home. As Can Kikaleri continued to skyrocket in popularity, Barış's public profile rose dramatically. He began receiving offers for high-profile roles in films, television series, and even brand endorsements. Meanwhile, Yağmur's career also flourished, with invitations to international film festivals and invitations to speak on creative panels. Their frequent public appearances, whether accepting awards for Best On-Screen Couple or attending charity galas, solidified their status as one of the most admired pairs in Turkish entertainment. It was around this time, however, that jealousy began to surface behind the closed doors of Barış's marriage. Barış and his wife had shared a relatively private life before Can Kikaleri debuted. They married quietly in a small ceremony, exchanged vows in front of close friends and family, and had built a supportive home together. Barış's wife, whose name has not been widely publicized, had always been proud of his acting success. But as his on-screen partnership with Yağmur intensified, she began to feel left behind. Over time, small signs of tension emerged. Friends who spent time with the couple reported that Barış's wife grew increasingly uneasy whenever Yağmur's name came up. At first it was subtle, a tightening of shoulders when Barış mentioned an upcoming scene next to Yağmur. A forced smile when praised in interviews as the perfect pair with Yağmur. Soon, though, those small jitters escalated. Reports indicate that Barış's wife would ask to review unfinished scenes featuring Barış and Yağmur. He courteously declined multiple times, citing confidentiality agreements and respect for the creative process. Then, one evening, a heated argument broke out between them during a late-night filming schedule. Barış was rushing off to set after a long day, eager to deliver a crucial emotional performance. His wife, however, felt unappreciated and cast aside. She confronted him. "All you talk about these days is how intense your scenes with Yağmur are, how special your bond is. But what about us at home? Do I even matter anymore?" That confrontation marked a turning point. 3. The ultimatum. Over the next few weeks, Barış attempted to balance both worlds, a demanding schedule on set and a marriage strained by jealousy. He would return home late sometimes after midnight, frustrated and drained. Yagmer, sensing the growing tension, suggested he'd take some time off to sort things out with his wife. Barış honored that suggestion briefly, canceling a few rehearsals and phone interviews. But he soon realized that stepping away from Can Kikaleri would jeopardize not only the series' storyline, but also his professional reputation. As the show's lead, his absence would spell chaos for the production's tight schedule. Amid these difficulties, Bariz's wife delivered an ultimatum. Either you step back from this relationship with Yagmer that seems to take up all your time and energy, or I will no longer stand by you as your wife. She did not demand that he quit acting entirely. Instead, she insisted that he create significant distance between himself and Yagmer. No more prolonged rehearsals, no more public appearances together, and definitely no private dinners or meetings beyond strictly professional gatherings. She made it clear that any sign that he continued cultivating an unusually close relationship with Yagmer would be considered a betrayal of their marriage's trust. For Barış, this ultimatum posed an agonizing dilemma. On one hand, his collaboration with Yagmer Can Kikaleri was central to his meteoric rise. Their chemistry was one factor driving record ratings, and producers had already lined up new film roles based on his success in that series. On the other hand, he genuinely cared for his wife and understood her emotional turmoil. He knew that if he continued down the same path, remaining close friends with Yagmer, in professional and, to some extent, personal capacities, he risked losing his marriage. He began to feel trapped between two worlds, the glittering opportunities of showbiz and the foundation of stability he had built at home. For choosing career over marriage. Ultimately, Barış chose to prioritize his career alongside Yagmer Yüksel. A decision that has intensified the public's interest, both supportive and critical. Barış issued a brief statement to explain his choice, saying something to the effect of, "My collaboration with Yagmer is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The depth of our on-screen partnership and the creative freedom we share is unparalleled. Giving up this path would mean sacrificing everything I have worked toward in the entertainment industry. I hope my wife can eventually understand why I made this decision, but at this moment I must follow my professional passion." Immediately, fans and media outlets weighed in. Many applauded Bariz's dedication to his craft, viewing his decision as a testament to the sacrifices artists often make for their careers. Television critics argued that his choice underscored the importance of chemistry in a hit series. Without the trust and understanding he built with Yagmer, Can Kikaleri might not have achieved its tremendous success. Entertainment columnists praised his courage, recognizing that few actors would admit so publicly that they were willing to risk something as personal as a marriage in order to pursue their art. However, there was significant backlash, too. Some viewers claimed that Bariz's choice represented a betrayal of marital vows. If you can't balance both relationships, professional and personal, then perhaps you should have never let your marriage take such a back seat, wrote one critic. Social media commentators debated whether Bariz's wife had a right to feel jealous given the contexts in which he and Yagmer spent time together. Others argued that Gülüm, as an actress, would understand the demands and temptations of showbiz. But Bariz's wife was not in that world, making it harder for her to accept the boundaries he was proposing. 5. The price of ambition. What Bariz's situation illustrates is the profound tension that can arise when personal relationships intersect with professional collaborations. Acting, at its core, demands vulnerability, especially when a series like Can Kikaleri relies on the raw emotion displayed between two leading characters, Barış and Yagmer. To deliver authenticity, had to trust one another fully and recreate intense emotional intimacy repeatedly. That process naturally blurs the lines between acting and genuine feeling. It's only human that Bariz's wife felt threatened by this dynamic, seeing the risk that a strong bond forged on camera could spill into off-screen territory. Yet, in choosing to remain closely connected with Yagmer, Barış acknowledged a harsh reality. In the entertainment industry, Opportunities of this caliber are rare and do not wait for personal circumstances to align perfectly. He faces film contracts, endorsement deals, and offers from producers based on his portrayal of Baran. Stepping away from that momentum could have jeopardized his future prospects, especially in an era when competition is fierce and public attention is fickle. The emotional cost of that ambition, however, is undeniable. Bariz's wife now grapples with feelings of insecurity and betrayal, while Bariz himself must live with the reality that his marriage, including its vows of fidelity and partnership, has been tested by his own ambition. For the time being, he continues to work alongside Yagmur, rehearsing scenes, filming episodes, and attending promotional events as if nothing has changed. All the while, he knows that every smile he shares with Yagmur in public might bring further pain to the person who once stood beside him as his greatest supporter. 6. What's next for Barış and his wife? At this stage, it's unclear whether reconciliation remains possible for Barış and his wife. Friends close to the couple suggest that she is taking some time away from public life to reflect, focusing on her own work, leaning on family for emotional support, and deciding whether she can forgive Bariz's choice or whether this rift has become too large to mend. Barış, for his part, has expressed hope that time might heal the wounds she feels in the wake of his decision. But he also stands firm on his conviction that his partnership with Yagmur must remain a priority. In the short term, Barış will continue filming Kankikileri, and fans can expect to see him and Yagmur's characters navigating new twists and turns on screen. He's also signed on for a major role in a feature film later this year, historical drama set in early 20th century Anatolia, where he will portray a soldier torn between loyalty to family and personal ideals. Industry insiders believe he will deliver a powerful performance fueled, in part, by the emotional turmoil he's experiencing off-screen. As for Bariz's wife, she has not announced any new projects yet, but sources say she is devoting herself to her own personal growth and professional interests. Whether she chooses to return to public life beside Barış, step out on her own in a public-facing role, or remain private indefinitely is anyone's guess. Many fans have sent messages of support for both of them, encouraging Bariz's wife to find peace and urging Barış to remember that some opportunities in life are not worth sacrificing what matters most in one's heart. 7. Lessons and reflections. Barış Baktaş's situation offers several lessons about the complexities of balancing public life with private commitments. On-screen intimacy versus off-screen boundaries. Actors who work closely together in emotionally intense roles must be especially vigilant about maintaining clear boundaries in their personal lives. Even a platonic bond can be misinterpreted or feel threatening to partners outside the industry. Jealousy as a real-world threat. The power of jealousy should not be underestimated. When personal insecurities flare up, they can drive a wedge between even the strongest couples. The recognition of those feelings and a willingness to address them openly can sometimes prevent more severe rifts. Ambition's price. Great opportunities in showbiz can demand extraordinary sacrifices. Barış chose his career, but in doing so, he risked and possibly lost his marriage. Ambition can open doors, but it can also leave personal lives in shambles if not handled with care. The need for clear communication. If Barış had discussed with his wife from early on about how his relationship with Yagmur was evolving, setting expectations for what was professionally essential and what he would do to protect his marriage, perhaps, the emotional fallout might have been less explosive. Open dialogue, while not foolproof, is essential when private lives intersect with public pressures. 8. Conclusion. Thank you so much for watching this detailed, respectful look at Barış Baktaş's current situation. His relationship with Yagmur Yüksel has been one of the most compelling creative partnerships in Turkish entertainment, producing groundbreaking work on Kankikileri that continues to captivate audiences. Yet, that very close bond triggered jealousy at home, forcing Barış to make an agonizing choice: to remain close and professionally intertwined with Yagmur, or to step back and attempt to preserve his marriage. For now, Barış has chosen his career. He believes in the importance of the work he and Yagmur create together, even though it puts a heavy emotional burden on his personal life. Whether time will heal his marriage is still unknown. Perhaps his wife will find a path forward, either forgiving him or choosing a new direction for her own happiness. Whatever happens next, this story reminds us that success on screen does not guarantee success at home, and that even the strongest partnerships can be tested by ambition and jealousy. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to Turkish Spotlight Secrets and click the notification bell so you never miss future updates. I read every comment, so let me know. What do you think Barış should have done? Can he rebuild his marriage, or is his choice to prioritize career ultimately the right one? Share your thoughts below. I always appreciate hearing from you. Until next time, take care, stay curious, and remember that behind every headline, there are real people facing real emotions. Goodbye.